What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Friday afternoon show presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. The app has been upgraded. Download it today. Check out the new user-friendly versatility, some great bonuses for first-time signing up, player perks, all sorts of promotions there as you get into the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Check it out. And I like the old app. I love the new app. And I know some people didn't love the old app as much. I think if you give it another shot, you're really going to like this. You can also go down, if you're looking for something to do this weekend or just take in some baseball or, heck, some tennis in Cincinnati or soccer with the championship, whatever it might be, go down to Firekeepers Casino off I-94 in Battle Creek and Dacey's Tap Room and Sportsbook and get the in-house sportsbook experience right here in Michigan. It's incredible. You don't need to go to Vegas. You don't need the heat, the overpriced nature of anything. It is right here in Battle Creek off I-94 at Firekeepers Casino. Jason, how you doing, brother?
No walks, 12 strikeouts, 12. And what was it, 32 whiffs? 32. That's...
What the fuck? I mean, I felt all of Fred Human.
This fucking computer. Hey, man. Jeez. Ruined my whole Tony Dombrowski bit here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Anyway, what's up, dude?
Was that off the Tigers game the other day against Minnesota?
No, this was a while ago. He doesn't do any more like newer videos, so I had to find depressing Tony D.
What, did he stop doing his videos?
I guess so. There was only one like a month ago. I don't know if he got a gig or something to where he could. I mean, it's not like he does anything crazy anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you doing well?
That's crazy. Peacock?
Yeah, speaking of Peacock, what's up with Peacock charging another $3 a month for their shit?
Hey, man, they've been in bed with the LSJ, and this is what we do.
You guys have to stop gouging us, man. We get it from every angle. That's why people are going to have to start pulling back on some of these things. I mean, I love watching live sports, so they pretty much have me.
Yes.
But if you don't watch sports, you got to fight back for me. Because, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
They could charge me $100 a month. I watch the Premier League. I'm going to pay it.
Well, don't tell them that.
No, I know.
We can't just be so stupid and just say, oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's true. Because, I mean, if you looked at my monthly charges, it's ridiculous just to watch golf, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You know how many bets I have to win just to pay for my golf viewing? It's ridiculous.
Hulu's going away. Hulu's folding into Disney Plus, so it's not. That's the beginning of.
There's no more Hulu?
Well, there will. Eventually, there won't be. Right? Yeah.
So it's just Disney.
I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah.
Whatever. I don't really give a shit. Just take my money, give me the sports, gouge me. But every freaking other month, man. Anyway.
It is brutal.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a good show today. A lot of good Groovy Donut Twitter questions and social media questions. There are some, it's very clear that people are not happy with me overall. Just based on the questions. So I'm going to have to answer to that and be accountable to that today. And so we'll do that. A lot of good MSU football and MSU basketball. Some good MSU basketball, too. Some Tigers, some Lions injuries.
Is there anything that you could tell the audience today that would make up for it? Like something that you've been withholding or, you know what I mean? Maybe you feel like you're like Trump, you just kind of divert,
Yeah. I think
what's your Epstein file? Is it Max Bulla?
I think it's empty prime.
Who was the fear shooter? Like, announce that. Tell everybody that you know who the fear shooter is. You're going to announce it on Monday's show.
Fewer empty promises and a better attitude. I think that's my best shot today. That's
diversion.
Yeah.
I like that better.
We'll start there. Before we get to those, as we do at the end of every week, what we are betting this weekend, presented by our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Are you betting anything this weekend, my friend?
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Lee.
Well, of course, I have my FedEx St. Jude championship picks that I gave out on Twitter the other night. Still holding strong. Wyndham, I don't know if he's going to contend. He's kind of getting blown away. But I got a top 20 with Corey Connors and Russ Henley that looks pretty promising that I gave out on Wednesday. But, hey, the Tigers tonight, is this a must-win with Skubal on the mound? I mean, people are panicking. You're talking about 33-1 bets for betting Cleveland. I know it has value. I can understand that because we're on a verge of a collapse here for the Central. So is tonight a must-win for Scuba? We have to get to freaking Hendricks for the Angels, right? The Angels stink. We have to be able to hit them.
When he is on the mound, it's not a must-win, but it kills you if you don't.
Can't lose these games.
You got to make it up somewhere else, and I just don't see them doing it a lot right now. And again, the August schedule, we talked about this the other day, does present chances for them.
Yeah, we got out. Yeah,
they that should help. If it wasn't for this schedule, if the schedule was different,
Twins though,
and Cleveland's flawed too. They're hot right now, but that won't entirely last. It's not like
they don't even have any
baseball
relievers
team.
that don't gamble.
Yeah.
So how are we going to blow this lead here?
So are you betting it?
What,
The Tigers
tonight?
Yeah,
probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
I am not. So one thing I'm glad I did, and so I saw that 33-1 line out there, and it wasn't everywhere, and it didn't last because other people jumped on it quickly. And it was during the game the other day against the Twins where things were fading. And I thought, boy, that's a pretty good price. So I put
you had to tweet it out.
$25 on it it pays like $8.50. And so
you wonder why people don't like you though. That's the
fair.
thing. It's like I have no idea. People are coming at me. But as soon as the Tigers' demise, there's a little brief glimpse of it. You have to tweet out something a little. There's just a little added couch snarkiness on it.
So there was a moment in there.
33-1.
There was a moment in there. I'm like, do you just throw $1,000 on this and then just root against the Tigers and have like a 33 grand pay? No, and I didn't want to do that. Right, I didn't want to do that. And first of all, that's a lot of money to bet on.
You can't brag about it if you hit it.
It would
throw you out of town.
It would ruin the next month for a lot of reasons. It would be awful. I'd have to hide it from my wife. I don't want to do that stuff. But $25, you feel like there's a little bit of emotional hedge, and yet you're still rooting for the Tigers. And so. That's all I did. I just did the emotional hedge. I 100% want the Tigers to fend this off, to have, and what I would love.
It's a smart bet.
I would love this to be the postseason where baseball really realized they're going to have to do something. Because if this Tigers team, which is in the bottom 10 in baseball, the way they've been playing for a month, and worse than that for the last month, but I think is probably a bottom half of baseball team overall, wins the World Series, say they get in because they have this lead and the rest of the division's flawed, and they get in and they get hot and they win it, then baseball's whole thing is a mockery, just like it was when the Cardinals won in 06. But it is then you have to look at, like, why are you playing 6 months of a season? What is the point? And I would love that because I want the postseason to reflect the regular season, so I would love somebody to make a mockery of it completely, where it's like you're sitting there, talk about the dog days of summer. It's like, what's the freaking point? Like,
but what's the point? But it does make for a nice little buffer, especially for guys like me that are sitting there dying for football season to start.
Well,
I don't mind if the season's long because there's nothing else going on in the summertime.
Baseball
should
aspire to be more. Baseball should aspire to be more than just getting us through to football season, and they've done that to some degree in the way they've changed the length of the games and other things. And it used to why
aspire to be more when you're doing exactly what I need you to do for me? Well, can you change and tweak a couple things here? Yeah, but you're giving me some sort of sports entertainment throughout the summer. I don't.
You can still do that. I'm just saying, try to be something people also care about more in the fall and year round. For me this weekend, what I am betting is the England Championship is back. Not the Champions League. People get confused with that. The Championship is the division below the Premier League. Makes its debut this week. Premier League is next week, Friday afternoon. Ipswich versus Birmingham City. Oops, sorry, my Ring doorbell is on the phone. If you can hear that, somebody's at the door.
That's crazy.
Sorry, turned up.
Who's at the door?
Intruder. You want me to check? Maybe it's Spot. Let's see.
You might want to check.
Could be Spot at the door. Usually it's just the mail or somebody. Let's see what we got here. This is good Hoff right here. Come on. It's just a what this person is. It's like I don't know, some sort of street worker.
Secret UPS guy, if you know what I'm saying.
Street worker. And I don't mean like prostitute. I mean like street worker, like they're working on the road.
Up first, Dominic.
Anyway.
What are we talking about?
7:30 a.m. tomorrow, Wrexham at Southampton. And the money is like Southampton is basically you can get for minus 120, you can get at 0.75 plus 0.75, meaning if they win by I don't want to give all the details. They're going to beat Wrexham. Wrexham is good. There's so much money on Wrexham because of the McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds and the love for Wrexham. And Wrexham has kept being promoted, and they're going to be a good championship team, mid-table championship team. But they are finally at a level where the money is they're not going to have those advantages. Southampton is a team that got a balloon payment from being relegated to the Premier League. They've got more money than most. It's a club that's been, up for a lot of the time. I think Southampton's going to be one of the best couple teams in the championship. They're at home. I think they win this game. If they win this game, you win a small chunk of your stake. If they win it by 2, you win the full thing. Southampton. Take Southampton. Maybe the money line is minus 145. That might be the best way to go. I'm on Southampton's 7:30 a.m. Saturday morning. That is what we are betting this weekend, presented by our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Are you ready, sir, to dig into these?
It's Rob Mack now, by the way, not McElhaney. He changed his name because he got sick of people mispronouncing his name.
It's funny. I can't pronounce anything, but I can pronounce that.
Yeah, it's a good name.
Yeah.
Too bad he's changing it. You can pronounce it. Now he's changing it. All right, Eric Schultz up first, of course. With the Central Services building being demolished on the east side of Spartan Stadium, can we expect that facade to get a much-needed renovation? Can we start with, I don't know, a power wash and a few cans of white paint to cover the rust?
Yeah, the rust is the key, right?
Do we need volunteers for this? I hear this a lot of the rust and the power washing.
Coat of paint, get out there.
Right, but I'm saying, do we need to volunteer? Do they need volunteers over there?
Yeah,
I'll go over there.
It'll be interesting the stages in which they do things because, obviously you got the season starting, but, you do want to have the stadium look as good as it can for the season, even if it's it's just phase 1 and it's that certain parts of the stadium aren't.
But what's the holdup? Is it a union thing where you can't touch a certain thing? Like this group can only touch this?
It's fundraising stuff. Are you talking about just power washing?
Yeah, power washing. A couple of little things of paint, things that you can see, fans that can see from because they go there every season.
No, it'll be interesting to see how quickly this stuff goes. Another thing to ask Jay Batt in terms of their timeline and what they want done and what's really important to them.
Eric Schultz, he keeps saying you don't believe the Strayhorn rumors. Okay, cool. Can you tell us why he was suddenly let go then? You don't got to get into detail, but can you please offer an alternative?
Now, I'm probably going to have to do a story on this because this is
There was a rest part of this.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sentence here. Sorry. How does a well-liked former player get fired in late July after 10-plus years of service?
No, it's a fair question. I mean, they do have new leadership, new AD, so who knows? But that's I thought this would be a story other people would jump on. People I've talked to have very little interest in it, so I will have interest in it. And I will.
Are these the people that were scoffing at you for looking at Twitter the other night?
When was that happening?
I don't know. You said you were looking at Twitter and you were out with the upper nose crowd, and they were like, "How you still look at Twitter?"
Oh no, those were people in the news. They're not. They would actually. Those are people who worked in digital metrics. They would actually think this story did really well. They're like, "Why haven't you done that story yet?" So yeah, I will. I will do a story there, or we'll have Strayhorn on here, or something. We'll do something to get you a little more information there.
Tease a Strayhorn interview. Dominic, do you think that your Ebeling snafu means you get to just cheat us out of the gambling show? Look, Couch, are you all in or are you half-stepping us? Please treat us with the same fucking respect you treat Matt Mancarini over an American Stout. 3 fucking shows a week, period. I love that I have nothing to do with this, the scheduling conflict. I like that you get the blame.
I know. I'll take it.
By the way, great story by Matt Mancarini on the Stober's bar.
Yeah.
I loved it.
It's very good.
But I got to say, when I read Matt Mancarini, I'm going this is what he's doing? Why is he only on this, a story like that? He should be, right? I think he offers so much more than a story like that.
The way journalism works these days is you have to give people the candy in order to really dig into the meat, right?
Okay. I like the candy.
Something has to pay for the
Shouldn't really eat
stuff.
it before you eat meat, though. It's going to ruin your appetite.
Well, it's a bad analogy, but I suck at analogy. So
you put the donut before the steak.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just saying, I like Matt. I really do. I'm not saying it to I like Stober's. I thought it was a great. I read it.
It's on Merlin and don't
ruin it.
No, I don't want to.
Let people see it themselves.
Yeah,
for the first time, fresh. Dominic, what's the appropriate amount of time to wait when dating a new girl to ask her how many car key parties she's been to? On my daddy's grave, I wouldn't even flinch if I found out my whoring ex ran a train with Mel Tucker and Hondo in Hans Jurgen's basement at this point.
Well, it depends. I would.
Come here, Minister.
I would give it at least 3 dates. At least 3 dates.
First date.
First date?
Yeah.
Just get it out there?
Well, I mean, if you're on the dating apps, you kind of have to do that talking anyway beforehand. I figure you get everything out of the way. The first date is like, all right, we got that shit out of the way. We can touch on this and that.
I forget that you didn't miss the dating apps era. Like I missed the dating apps era just barely.
That's how I met my wife. I met my wife on Tinder. And she gets embarrassed by that sometimes, but I don't. Who gives a fuck?
That's because she's of an age where
if I told you I went to a bar, charmed her pants off, then your mind should be blown. Like an app where two people who are attracted to each other, then they meet. Like it's not that weird anymore.
No, but you know what I'm talking about. When we were in our 20s, like if you met somebody online, there was like a stigma to that. Right?
On Yahoo Messenger?
Well, no, but there was like
there was a couple other things.
They had other things. You could have eHarmony's been around 20 years, all
Jesus.
things like that. You never met anybody on eHarmony?
I never went on eHarmony. They asked way too many questions. There was too much homework to do on eHarmony. I was just like, let's get to it.
I had one date on eHarmony when I was first in Kalamazoo. Yeah. It was
Was it good?
It was an okay date, but back then the stigma was so great. What I realized was like this could never go anywhere because this couldn't be our origin story. So like that, the stigma was too much to overcome.
So just make one up.
Should have. If I'd been more mature, if it had been 10 years later, whatever. Yeah. Who knows? That might be who I'd be married to.
She was at the bar, and then she picked up a napkin. And I said, what is it? What is the difference? Like, it's really hard, especially in the dating game, just to go up to someone who's a stranger minding their own business at a bar. I found that insane. Like, just have to do that.
That is, yeah. No,
Thank God for the apps. The dating apps saved my life, I think.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That it was immature, but that's the way we thought.
But it is funny. It's like, how'd you guys meet? I'm like, Tinder. There's no.
Well, could you say online and not Tinder has a certain
Grinder? I'm sorry. I mean, what does it matter? Online.
I don't know. Bumble.
AOL Messenger. It makes you sound like an old fart. Who cares?
What's the best one? What's the most respectable online dating?
Ask Dominic. I have been off the apps for almost a fucking decade here, Couch. Like, what do you mean? Don't you trying to get me in trouble? I don't see any of that shit anymore. I have no idea. I'm aware the dating apps still exist. Hinge is one of them. But I know that through Dominic, so.
Okay, yeah.
What are you trying to do to me, Couch? You trying to get me divorced or some shit?
No issue. That is a story we're telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. An awesome place for a date night this weekend. For a group event, if you want to do it. Trivia on Tuesday nights, of course. The American Stout, as Dominic mentioned.
Do the young people even know what car key parties are?
No.
Like, that's the 70s. That was like an 80s, 70s, 80s thing.
Dominic's a child of the 70s. So.
It's true. Dominic, do you think Tony D has real-life problems? Like, does he have bills, girl drama, struggle with demons? I'm not judging, as we're all fucked up, a fucked up mess, but, like, do you think he rage cries at his therapist's office over Tyler Hilton's release point and roast number royalties?
I don't know Tony D.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know I know of him. I don't know his backstory.
Come
I
here,
don't know
Minnesota.
Does this sound like this guy rages?
What did we tell you? What did we tell you?
I'm grateful he lives in an era where there's that outlet for him. Can you imagine if this is like 1985, you're just telling it to your friends or your parents or whoever's in your basement with you, and then nobody's...
If you have friends.
Right, yeah.
Your friends might go, Jesus Christ, like Tony, but man, he needs a therapist. Love that guy. Dominic, if Couch's price is $1.6 million, what kind of Jed GoFundMe would I need for Matt Mancarini to write a weekly investigative piece on the amount of times my whoring ex banged Samuel? For the tapes, I don't begrudge Samuel.
So my price is $1.8 million actually, and that's to leave the profession. 1.6 wouldn't quite get it done. Although I'm getting older, so maybe I'd need less. I don't know. Yeah, I can't help you, man.
Get a job as a greeter or something,
Yeah. What?
Wait, that's that guy that got naked.
Mancarini is too principled. He will not. I mean, if Mancarini cared about money, he wouldn't be working at the Lansing State Journal, right?
That's the take of the day.
Yeah,
that's true. Dominic, Couch, if I get the Rubes to verbally commit or pledge for a road trip to Kinnick, can you get him and the missus, me and a non-whore date, some press passes so we can watch the game with hot Scott Docterman? Have you seen old Doc's new Twitter profile picture?
Is it pretty sexy?
This guy takes no guff. He's like serious about the season. I loved it.
Yeah, no, he's all in. Now, if you wind up at Kinnick, though, I would happily grab a beer with you. It's one of my favorite.
Well, he's talking about getting like a press pass.
Oh, I can't do that. No.
We'd have to start a show, Dominic, and call it like Spartan Nation.
Yeah. If you call
Spartan
it
Blast or something. And then,
just call it Sparty something, and then you can get a pass, and we'll see you there. You don't have to. It doesn't take much.
We'll go drive with Rico. Maybe. What is the best MSU football away game on the schedule for fans?
This is a good question because it's a good year, and it depends on what you want. Because like USC is this year, going to LA for a few days. It'd be nice if that game was a little later when it's colder here, but that could be fun going to the Coliseum. Nebraska is just an awesome place to go to a game, and Lincoln's a lot of fun. It's expensive and hard to hotels in Lincoln on football game days. Like I think Nebraska basketball is an underrated experience. Great stadium, hotels right in the district, restaurants right there. It's great. But Nebraska's great. Minneapolis they've got this flight straight out of Lansing this year where you can fly direct on Saturday, and although maybe it's coming from Denver, so it's even easier to get to Minneapolis. But Minneapolis, fun city, there for a weekend. They've got Bloomington in October. Bloomington, Indiana is like one of it's probably my favorite Big Ten town. So it's a really good year. It's really what your cup of tea is. I like Bloomington a lot. If you've never done Bloomington on a Saturday in mid-October in college football season, I love that. Nebraska would be a great pick too.
Next one for maybe. Do you have any do's and don'ts for joining an established fantasy league?
Any advice?
Not really. I don't know. Make sure you have a lineup in, even if your team stinks on ice every week. That's pretty much the key to keep in any league I've ever been in. To not ruffle any feathers, but if you know some of the people, if people are in the chat talking shit, I guess you just jump on in. I don't know.
I'd start here. If you're going to do a draft, I don't know if people still do this, but you get together on the draft night. It's fun. You get together like at least as many people can from the league sitting around a table all doing the draft in person. It's fun to do, right?
It's impossible.
But it's fun.
At our age, to get people, yeah.
If you do that, what my recommendation is Groovy Donuts. Like if you're going to a fantasy football night, you bring a box of Groovy Donuts. If you're the new person in the league and you show up with Groovy Donuts, you'll be remembered. They'll want you in the league. That's a great start, right? Go to groovydonuts.com, place your order today for any gathering. But anytime you want people to like you, or if you just want to like yourself and you have questions about yourself, right? Get yourself a box of Groovy Donuts. You'll feel differently. groovydonuts.com, 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road in Williamston, and also, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., Thursday through Sunday. My other piece of advice would just be...
Do you know how I know it's a good live read? Like, you actually get me. I was, waiting for... I was like, oh, my God, he's got, a really good answer here for how to join a fantasy league. And then you go, boom, right into the freaking read.
Once in a while.
Oh, the pump fake.
Blind squirrel.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? It's being active, but not annoying. You don't want to be the person who's... I don't know. How are you... What's annoying in a fantasy league if you're not too active?
See, I just don't jump into the chat, really. I make sure I pay attention if someone offers me a trade. I'll look at it here and there. But there's some guys, especially in this one keeper league that I've joined. I've been in it for a couple of years now, and there's a couple guys that they just go nuts with it, and they're messaging people, and they're trying out this and that. And it's like, all right, man.
And understand the dynamic. Like for somebody in that league, this is the most important thing in their life. And understand that for some people, this is their moment where they get to be alpha and be funny and have don't come in with such a strong personality that it rocks the boat to the point that it changes the vibes, because that'll make somebody not like you. Just come in, Groovy Donuts, and just set your team, be active, but find your place in the personality of the league.
I would go into the chat and go, hey, what's your guys' blue sky? What's your blue sky at?
Right away.
Huh? Spartan 231, is it concerning we haven't heard about a leading running back for MSU yet? I have a hard time believing it's due to having multiple talented backs. But it's possible to have a lot of talented backs, right?
Yeah, it is possible. I did ask, the running backs coach was available yesterday, and I asked him straight up. He was talking about young backs who play early and over the course of time. And he's coached a lot of Doug Martin at Boise State, Ashton Genty. He's coached some other really good guys over time, and he's talked about just the moxie those guys have. And you think about a Cedric Irvin, those people are of that age, and what he was like as a true freshman. You think about even L.J. Scott, and those guys who come in and right away it's like, oh, there's a presence about them as a player, right? And usually you can see it. And I just asked him, I said, do you have a guy with that kind of moxie? He said, no, not yet. Good question. So I'm not saying you should be concerned or not concerned. It's early. I think this scrimmage Saturday is a big scrimmage for the running backs. They talked about it a lot. There are 2 scrimmages. I don't know how much they'd give away in terms of the depth chart before the opener, but I do believe as of right now the depth chart is really undecided. Sometimes you can read the room a little bit and just I don't think those players know. I don't think the coaches know right now. I think they want to see how this plays out in pads. Do I think there's a Kenneth Walker among them? I do not. There's some guys with speed. There's some experience. When you talk about Tolliver from Sac State, everybody's intrigued, of course, to see Jace Clarizio from East Lansing and what he looks like. But I think the bigger thing is if they have a competent offensive line and they have a running game, a competent offensive line and the passing game is a dangerous threat and really good, they'll look good. It's an easier position if those things happen. And like last year, they just didn't have that, and those backs looked pretty pedestrian. Nate Carter and Karen Lynch-Adams would have looked really good with those sort of things around them.
Spartan 231 next. What do you make out of the Kerr Tang report? Tang improvement or weak shooting elsewhere or both?
So this was Rothstein had a report that he talked to Izzo, and he began it by saying something about separated, and people thought it was going to be like separated shoulder, separated. That he separated himself as the best shooter. He did not say he separated himself as the best 2 guard, because the things I had heard, is that is not necessarily the case that he would be the starter there. I don't think they thought he was among the best shooters last year. I mean, in fact, I don't even know that it's news. I'm pretty sure there were points last season where Izzo said that Kerr Tang was the best shooter on the team. And it still didn't get him in the rotation. You know what I mean? So I don't know what that means in terms of his. I mean, if he does the other things well, if he defends well enough, if he's and he has a decent role, then that's good, because if he does those things well enough to be on the court, I think he will be a really good shooter. I think he's a natural shooter, but I don't know that means he is going to be the starting shooting guard.
He's a bull in a china closet.
Next one for Spartan 231. I can't wait for a surprising offseason improvement from a player. I feel like we haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last
Tillman jump. Are we talking
Xavier Tillman? Although you could start to see it the year before.
But still,
not redshirt. His end of his freshman.
It's good to reminisce about that jump.
Yeah,
such a man.
I'm trying to think what the last big jump was that you really remember, where you're like, well, that guy, that's
Cueto.
Yeah, Cueto was interesting, though, because Cueto was pretty good as a freshman in a role and then didn't take the next step till late. I mean, it took him forever. He's kind of in his own head. He used to talk about that all the time. He was kind of a head case in that sense. I'm probably missing somebody. But, if the thing with Kerr Tang that's different is that he just and I would say Jackson Kohler made that jump last year in a lot of ways. I mean, you think about the year before to last year, but the thing with Kerr Tang is because he was on the outside of the rotation, everything he does this year is going to feel like a big jump.
Some dude, Jason, can you please ask Couch to read this?
All right.
Couch, read that.
It was fun to be in Vegas. Not in that voice?
No.
Not regular voice? Okay, sorry.
Don't ruin it.
Okay. It was fun to be in Vegas with Tarek Skubal. We ate some bagels and watched a documentary about Quateri. Oh, fuck. Somebody get me. It's the League of Mexico.
Why are you coming on bagels, dude? Fuck. He just asked you to read it. You don't have to be weird.
I know, but I can't pronounce things. Thank you.
Bagels, Vagas. Yeah. Question, why does it seem like Sans injury, Jahmyr Gibbs over 10.5 rushing TDs, is the biggest lock in the history of the universe? Love the show. Thanks, some dude.
Yeah, it does seem like a pretty good bet. I mean, sometimes they go to Montgomery on the goal line, I guess. That would be the issue.
The over, like, what's the over? Plus money? Are we playing plus 105 or what?
Let's say it's even money, if that's what it is.
I mean, sure.
That's a pretty good play.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, it can be injuries and such. But, yeah, you're talking, less than in a 17-game season, you've got to get 1 or 2 every 3 games, 2 touchdowns every 3 games. Yeah.
I'd rather just bet on his touchdown props per game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? Put 100 on it, right? So you're going to win 100 back. Well, have to wait all season.
And here's what I love about
dodge injuries.
Well, here's what I love about season bets. If season bets to me are great, if you have a compulsion to bet every week things that you shouldn't be betting every week.
Yeah.
Like if you can have season bets that give you some juice on the game, you ride it out all season. It's the amount of money you can afford to lose. And
so what you're saying is if you have a degenerate gambling addiction,
yes,
the best thing you can do is to bet a lot of money that takes over a whole season.
Yes.
That's your advice.
Yes.
I like it.
So this is what I do with like the tennis tournament in Toronto right now, in Cincinnati and Montreal, and I do futures bets because if you're betting sometimes I'll put a little on a match, but like if I get some advice somewhere, but like overall you find 4 or 5 people with good value in a tournament. You put, it's like golf. You put $5 on them, and in some of these tournaments that aren't the majors too, the top people aren't in it. Long shots win all the time. And so, if you put $5 on it, it pays $200 if they hit, and all you got to do is hit like, one of those a year, and you're good. And I've already have. So that's
betting on like golf. It has curtailed some of my gambling, like as far as baseball and the slow cut bleeding of baseball, 2-leg, 3-leg parlays during the summer are brutal.
Chasing
but like
Tigers Twins unders as the game goes to 17
runs. But if I'm sitting
runs,
there going like, oh, dude, I just want to make a bet. I'm jonesing to bet. Like, oh, dude, you got that Jahmyr Gibbs over 10.5 touchdowns. Like, what are you worried about? Just calm down, man.
There you go.
Butter,
they don't talk about this in Gamblers Anonymous.
They sure don't. 1-800-GAMBLER. Butternuts McGillicuddy next. Longtime listener, but first time commenting. First, can we get a happy birthday to some dude celebrating his B-Day today? He deserves it for all of his thoughtful takes and burying couch and his blue wall propaganda.
Happy birthday, some dude. Absolutely.
Question, 2027 NFL Draft. Will Nick Marsh be a first-rounder?
Appreciate you, Butternuts, and some dude.
Let's go to Connor Eargood. Connor? No.
Yeah, we are going to have him on.
I don't know why Connor's Coach K, but that's all I had. Forget what he sounds like.
If
happy birthday, some dude.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And he does. Look, Nick Marsh is 6'3" with NFL burner NFL speed. The question for him will be the details of consistency. If he shows that, like he's got all the makings to be a first rounder. Like a receiver is a position where you see a lot of guys who are missing something and become 2nd through 4th rounders. The first rounders are real special players usually. They do something extremely well. They've got to either have size, unbelievable speed. He's got a pretty good combination of them, and so the stage is set for him to be a first rounder. But obviously he's got to, there's no evidence that he'll take a step back or anything like that. But what he was last year, he's still got to develop to be a first rounder.
Spartan 18770 and Dang It Bobby with the same thought apparently. Will MSU end the 10-year drought this season and produce a consistent O-line?
I do. God,
it's the $1 million question.
Man, I'm gonna hate
$32 million question.
I do think they'll be better and noticeably better on the offensive line. I don't know what that looks like, and I think, there's probably some hope and some people out there just hoping that looks like just a group that just mauls people, right? And that's not what it's always going to look like. The idea, though, I think this is important in a season where you're playing we talked about toss-up games, a lot of teams with over-unders in the 7.5, 8. Range, a lot of good but not great teams, that you're able to win your share against those teams and be able to run the ball against those teams. Because if you're going to beat those teams, it cannot look at all like last year or most of the last 10 years. So I think there's the potential for it. The thing I believe in this, I do believe in Jim Mahalchuk as an offensive line coach. I think they do have some talent there. What I don't know is, do they still have a couple holes that are hard to overcome on the offensive line? But I think I think they've got the chance to be noticeably better.
Spartan 18770. Enjoy the peaceful setting of downtown East Lansing this weekend because it won't be back till next June.
Students are back coming soon.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
I didn't enjoy East Lansing at all this summer.
Really?
No.
Yeah. No. I usually like to get out there.
It's not the same, man. All those buildings go straight in the sky now.
I like to go out there and sit on the. Sit at like, Sushiya or Peanut Barrel or someplace right on the strip.
What is it?
Sushiya?
Oh, Sushiya.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the week,
sit there?
The week that the international students arrive. Because.
You got your pants on?
No, it's incredible. Jeez.
It's such a weird.
It's incredible people watching because it's like you, and I don't know if it's still like this to the same degree, but it's basically like, because ICE might be out there deporting people, but it's more like, It's like you're in Beijing, but in East Lansing.
What?
Have you ever done this?
No.
You should.
I just enjoy everybody wherever I go. I didn't know it's like you make it an event when you see
I like the week
foreign people entering a town. It doesn't mean it was a big sit-down deal for anybody.
The foreign students usually come a week earlier, and if you just go out there, the other students aren't there yet, and it's just like being in Beijing. It's kind of a fun, cool, different type of take.
So you sit on a bench and
not
just
alone.
have some sushi?
No, not alone. I'm like, I take my wife and we watch, and we people watch. It's not me alone. My pants off on a bench in East Lansing watching Chinese women walk by. That'd be awful.
Oh my God, you're the best, man.
That would be the absolute worst. No, I enjoy the international flavor of East Lansing, and that is the week you get it the absolute best. That is a story we're telling almost, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. Also a good place for people watching.
Hold on. Sorry, I'm crying. I'm literally crying. Give me some off. Okay. Ryan Schultz, hypothetical, Graham. You were taking a Northwest LP vacation. What's a LP vacation?
Lower Peninsula.
Lower Peninsula. I'm supposed to know that. But due to a legal technicality related to an ongoing investigation of somebody being pushed down some stairs, you aren't allowed to enter Leelanau County.
Leelanau, but close.
Only Artrum and Grand Traverse. What places do you visit? Oh, like if you're on the lam?
Yeah.
Trying to hide out?
Hold on, I got to get a county.
That's actually a good question.
I got to get a county map up here. 1 second.
Rand McNally.
I am the passenger.
That's crazy.
And I ride and I ride.
Yeah, so Come on. I have not spent much time in Antrim County. I nearly took a job in Petoskey out of school. I've done that drive, and it's a nice drive up 31 from Traverse City. All right, let me get Traverse County. Let me see what we got here.
You're looking up counties?
I'm looking up counties.
People have shit to do, Couch. What the fuck?
I see the stars come out of the sky. Yeah, the bright in the hollow
Maybe I'll see if they let me in the Interlochen music camp.
Dude, you're not even on Leelanau County yet?
No, I know where that is. I'm just seeing where Traverse.
People have appointments to get to.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good question. I don't know. I can't go to Northport or Leelanau or Glen Arbor. You know.
But what are you looking up though?
The counties. I want to see.
I know,
what's
but
in
what
the
does
counties.
that matter? Like,
because
okay, so
I need
you
to
see
see
it.
what towns and what county. That's what I need to see. I don't know. I'd figure it out. That's a good question.
Wow. Ryan Schultz, Graham, have you noticed that you always end John L. Smith saying the coaches are screwing it up with a Howard Dean yell? Were you aware that never happened?
What?
His voice cracks on screwing it up, and that's it. Is this an interesting case of creating a false memory?
100%. This is something that happened 20 years ago, and I've been remembering it a different way. And it happened around the time of the Howard Dean thing, right? So,
and they're both similar.
Yeah. So I've sort of combined them at this point. But yes, it is a false memory.
Good catch, though. Professor, do the Tigers make more profit if they remain a playoff team but never win the World Series for 5 years, or if they go all in, win the series, but then suck for 4 years as they rebuild?
Probably make more profit being good every year, and
because we pack that place when we're good.
Right.
It's a great time to be alive when the Tigers are good. But the thing is, when you're doing a rebuild, are you giving us players to come watch? Like there's some hope, and I think we have, in the minor league system, we have guys that are going to be there because Scott Harris has not traded those guys. So I don't know if it would be that long of a rebuild, 4 years. Because that's what you don't want to get into is the 6-7 year rebuild that we were in and we were promised this. His
point though is to win a World Series, you probably have to give up some of those guys. And if you win all in, you gave up those guys, you win it, but then it's like the Cubs and it falls apart for a little while.
Yep.
Is that worth it? And I think for people it would be worth it. Now there's the risk in it. And again, this is a sport that's never fixed its postseason. So I mean,
and you got Bryce Harper going full bro on Manfred if you even bring up about fucking salary cap apparently.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Well, I mean, I have issues with the postseason because I don't know what to do. I really don't, because you can go all in and then you don't play well.
Yeah, but at least you're going all in.
Series.
You know what I mean? At least you're going all in when you have a good team and you add a couple guys and you go for it. There's something to that.
And maybe we should everybody goes all in and we celebrate the regular season champion and we celebrate the division winners and we should just say fuck the postseason because it's not reminiscent of what baseball. I'm sorry.
We're not even trying to do good ideas.
Yeah, will you take that out? That's really bad.
I actually might take that.
That was pretty bad. People won't come back to the show.
Terrible. Professor, if for charity, would you be willing to be the guest of honor for a roast led by your friends and family?
thought that's what the show was.
Yeah. I was about to say, Couch gets roasted every week.
Yes, for charity, I would do it.
Oh, God. Absolutely. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Would you do it?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
I get roasted all the time. I don't care.
Yeah.
DMB and Wono Girarda next. When are we getting a J Bat column? He's our shiny new toy, Couch. What do you want to know from him? Give the people what they want, and they might come back as LSJ subscribers. And from Tyler Simmons. Graham, do you have plans for an extended sit-down interview with either Jonathan Smith prior to football season?
So Smith, both are in the works, and I don't know what at some point I'll sit down with Smith before the season. So yes, and do a column on him going into his second year with Jay Bat. Yeah, they've told me over there, and they're working on it. I mean, he's got a busy schedule and all that stuff, and it might not just be me; it might be a few of us. Who knows what it'll be? I mean,
do you need me to call Matt Larson, dude? I mean,
what's
happening here? Is he not returning your calls?
No, he's great. No, we have talked about this very thing. And at some point, it is going to happen, and there will be, and there are lots of things to know about his priorities, how he sees, structuring, how he sees the role of collectives, how he sees paying for football, does he see cutting sports, CMU, what he sees about that, what he thinks of Connor Stallion. There's a million things. And the other thing I would tell you this: if there are things that you specifically want to know, DM me. Or DM the show, and because sometimes there might be something I overlooked that you're thinking of, or at least it's good to know that's on your mind. I mean, one of the best things about this show, one of the absolute best things is that I leave every show with a better sense of what readers and listeners are thinking and what fans want from me, that you're who we're supposed to serve here. So if you have things that you want to make sure are asked of him, DM me and not everything, if it's about the Epstein case, I'm probably not gonna ask it, but
but still DM
it anyway. Writing right up into my rectum, and it was painful.
Matty B next. When Graham sits down with Jay Batt or Jonathan Smith in 2028, can we ask them if there can be a clear NIL program for the common fan? It still doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I'm curious what he thinks of it and how he thinks it should be organized. And Haller was always very standoffish is the wrong word, but he was very
calm down, Matt C.
removed. Trying to arm's length from the collectives in terms of his public meddling. And I'm curious to see if Bat is the same way. I don't think he is. I mean, I do know that Charitable Giving America, which this is Sparta, after this year, they've been told, athletes or coaches have been told not to work with them anymore. So, there's obviously a plan in place, and I'm curious what it is. I don't want to comment on what his initiatives are and what he thinks of things because I just don't know.
Matty B, why does it seem like our basketball team ignores center recruiting? After Kohler and Cooper leave, what's your plan, Tom? Your rival seems to care more.
I promise you the rival doesn't care more. I mean, that's not it.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
But it will be interesting because you obviously have McCulloch. You might be okay at power forward still, but you are going to need bigs. And if you land one in recruiting as a freshman, that's great. But it might be one you have to go in the portal and do. And that's obviously a year-to-year thing, not an advanced recruiting thing. So, but yeah, they'll be thin there. They'll have to address it for sure.
Blow-goo boner next. So you fuck up Monday, the show gets skipped, then pushing it to skip Wednesday's show. Please figure it out, Graham. You do realize we produce your show. Without us, you have nothing.
We know. But, we didn't want your Tuesday show to get, recruited over, so to speak, with a Wednesday show so quickly. That was it. No, I'm kidding. It's all fair.
People would be really disgusted if we did 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, they'd be mad.
Oh, I can't handle all this much couch in the room. Jebediah, will a Detroit GM ever go all in without heavy pressure from the fan base and media? Or will we all be stuck with good, not great teams that compete but never win it all forever because we're all just okay with not being bad?
Well, I do think you're there with Tom Gores, right? I don't think that's a doubt anymore.
Well, I mean, let's not get too crazy. I mean, he did pay off Monty Williams' contract. It seems like he's starting to trust people and leave the team in the hands of people. But
so the key
you don't want to just leave him alone. I think it's a good start from Tom.
The key will be when some of these contracts are due and they figure out what they're going to have to do with Jaden Ivey, and he needs to play a year before we figure that out. At some point, if you're good, things get expensive, right? And so and are you willing to pay luxury
but then
taxes?
What are you doing it for then?
Right,
that's what
I'm
want to bring people. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying we don't know yet, so we'll have to watch with him. And then I would say the Ford family has been at times inept, but not so much cheap. There's been some cheapness at times. I shouldn't say that, but
ineptness, yeah,
ineptness.
I mean, Rod Wood is still employed, so
there've been some bigger issues there than and I think Brad Holmes. You talking about just a GM? I mean, I don't question his willingness to go all in. I mean, for example,
right? But like last year when we had the injury bug and to bring some guys in, and I understand that we have to trust these, the Harrises and the Brad Holmeses, but I think another couple of years of we're getting close, we're going to start running out of patience with we need our people, our guys, blah, blah, blah. When you see teams like Philadelphia, like the Eagles, they bring in these players that will help them get over the hump.
So the question would be, I haven't heard this posed to him yet, and maybe it has been. I don't read everything or hear everything, but has somebody asked him in hindsight, does he wish he'd done it? Because sometimes you think you have enough, and it's fine if you make a mistake. It's fine to admit that. Like, in hindsight, I thought this was the move, and it really turned out we needed this, and I should have done that.
But getting your ass handed to you by Washington, I'm not sure who could have helped us in that scenario. We just got dominated up and down. But Thomas, how do you keep your head on straight when staring down a deadline for a big project or writing piece?
Take a lot of steps to the fridge, a lot of trips to the fridge. I procrastinate. No, I mean, Zion was a big deal because he was a huge guy, and I just broke my chair. The deadline helps, You just do it. You focus in and you
grind.
You grind tape.
Yeah, you go. I sit by my typewriter. I grind tape.
Deadline helps.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, you just go. That's what I always say. The thing I always remember when I'm writing is that nobody has to see this until I want them to see it, and that sometimes helps you when you get a little stuck or you're not thrilled about your lead. Sometimes you just keep going. You're like, I don't love this. And a lot of times you wind up, because of deadlines, turning in the same shitty thing you started on. But I think that's always my best advice is just remember nobody has to see it until you're ready for them to see it. And so if
someone
stuck,
has to, or you're going to get fired. Someone has to see it
correct.
Eventually.
If you're really up against a deadline, you're kind of screwed there. But
so you can't really in your mind go, well, no one's going to see it.
But I'm saying it's better to do that than just be stuck and then you don't have enough done and then you feel really rushed. And I've written some rushed things. One of the worst things that happens is our print deadlines change is you wind up with, what you see online is very different than what went in print. There have been columns I've written where it's like, holy crap, I don't even know what I wrote for print. And then you have to redo it because it's just such a tight deadline. But yeah, the big thing is just write and trust that you'll. I find it often easier to edit when you've got something or you change it than create from anew.
Thomas, does Jersey Giant give you too much bang for your buck to be considered as a new vendor under the concession stand updates? Well, couldn't you do like a sliver, like a, you know what I mean, like a small bite of the Jersey Giant where you get it all, like a corner piece or something like that?
Yeah.
For $19 or.
I don't think we do Jersey Giants till we have Groovy Donuts. And Groovy Donuts would love to be in Spartan Stadium. To me, you want to upgrade Spartan Stadium, freaking paint, power wash, whatever you want to do, but begin with Groovy Donuts as a vendor.
I'd go to more games.
Yeah.
For sure. If I could get a Groovy Donut and a Jersey Giant sandwich.
If there was a Groovy Donut available on the concourse, I would be on the concourse every single week getting a Groovy Donut. I think a lot of people
down
would.
With the peasants.
Well, I could go down there to get the 50.
Sorry, I got to go right back up. This is not down here for a while. I just got to go right back.
Can I cut the line here? I'm gonna get important things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely do that. And until that happens, though, Groovy Donuts are always available to you every week, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday on Lake Lansing Road in Williamston, or Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing. Lake Lansing Road does not go to Williamston, I don't think. And also in Williamston. And go to groovydonuts.com to place an order today, or just swing on by. I'm telling you, every time I start a Saturday or a Sunday at Groovy Donuts on a weekend day, coffee, box of donuts, extra donut for myself on the way home that my wife won't know about. It's a great way to start a day, and that is a pro tip, by the way. If you're getting a box for you and the family, extra bag for yourself that Nobody ever has
Just
to
make
know
sure you
it's
check yourself when you get out before you get out of the car.
Yeah, crumbs are the giveaway.
Couch always forgets that part.
Yeah. And make sure you have where the garbage is in the driveway or whatever. You can leave bags around and things get obvious. You got to have a plan. But Groovy Donuts will definitely improve your weekend.
Jebediah next. Can you believe that a Lions second-round pick who was off injured in college will miss his entire second year in the league after barely playing in his first year due to injury? Still trying to wrap my head around this shocking occurrence. And for Mr. Benjen, Rube, what is Graham's smugness level, 1 to 100, on his don't play your cornerbacks until week 9 take since Rakestraw just got perma injured? Graham, do you feel more satisfied about your take or sad that the Lions lost a needed quarterback?
I don't feel good about it. I just feel strongly about it. I understand the realities of it is you can't take, 10 guys on a roster of 53 guys that are paid and make the playoffs and rest 10 guys. Yeah. I get that. I understand. But I do think it is possible, and it would be. It's the sort of thing somebody will do 10 years from now. They'll be, what a genius idea. And I'll be sitting there in the background.
Oh, they're going to do it 10 years from now?
I thought of this a long time ago, man. But if you've got a if you've got a really good veteran at some position that you don't know that can hold up for the season, that would be something to do that with, or I think a defensive back, a defensive end, especially those two positions. If you a couple defensive backs, a defensive end, and you just say we're coming in week 11 and we're staying in shape and all that. So I would look at trying to do it because those positions, maybe an offensive lineman, can you get to 4 on a roster? Positions that usually crush you. These are the things I would think about for real.
To answer your question, Mr. Benjen, it's not the smugness. It's the fact that he knows it's stupid and it'll never happen, but this kind of makes his point for him. So it just will never end. Right? Because it's not, you make a point, right, obviously,
it's a good point,
but you're not going to sit anybody for 10 weeks. It's just not possible. It's not feasible.
I just can't imagine being a defensive back in the NFL and you break it down. You're like, everybody says team or whatever you do and you break it down. Lions on 3. You're not going to be around by the playoffs. You're not playing for any. You're just playing for yourself. And
so you shouldn't even just go into the huddle and do that.
I just would find it, the odds that you're going to be out if you're a defensive back in the NFL are like, I don't know, 70%. So what do you, I don't know. Playing for a Super Bowl you're never going to be in? I don't know.
Mr. Benjen, why is mustard such a fucking bitch? The only condiment which no matter how careful I am, it gets everywhere. The clothes, squirts out from whatever it's on. Never happens with ketchup, mayo, or hot sauce, etc. Fuck mustard.
You gotta shake the mustard because it gets that liquid stuff at the top. Yeah, you got to shake the mustard before
Sounds like my grandma Nick. She absolutely hated mustard, but only had it because I loved it.
Really? She loved you, huh?
She did. But it's not going to jump out of the bottle and attack her. I mean, what the fuck? It's not like it's some great thing. She had it in there for when I...
You know what I mean?
She hated the sight of it, though.
Yeah, everybody has their thing. But how that happens with mustard. It becomes liquidy at the top, and you shake it the wrong way.
It's more ketchup for me where it gets everywhere.
Okay.
I can't handle it. I like mustard. Kurt Wisniewski, why can't Detroit professional sports have nice things?
This is happening everywhere. It just feels like it because everybody pays attention to the team that's in front of them.
But it's true. We want to have nice things. We want to just win a championship.
Well, I think that's the big thing.
God damn it. The Pistons have done it.
But even they didn't win the second one they should have. The Tigers didn't win any. The Lions haven't won one. Yeah. The Red Wings been a long time now. I think, and really the Red Wings have done it soon enough. It needs to come. It really does need to come from the Lions or Tigers at some point. And that happens, it appeases so much of the fan base. And it just will be so. I mean,
dude, if the Tigers or the Lions, I will cry like Tony Dombrowski. This is craziness. Yeah. How long we've waited. Kurt Wisniewski, what's taking the NCAA so long to put the hammer down on those scumbags in Ann Arbor?
Probably Friday. Could happen today. Who knows? 5 o'clock drop.
Welcome
is
to
what they're
the
looking
blue wall.
So if you're the NCAA, a lot of times these things happen at 5 o'clock on a Friday. Are you doing it at 5 o'clock on a Friday if you're worried it's not going to be hard enough, or if it's too hard? What do you?
I think either way. You just want it to
5 o'clock on a Friday.
5 o'clock. Yeah. Dump it. Yeah. Come back Monday. What are you talking about? Just hardball it. I'm sorry. What happened? Yeah. BAGRE. Baggeray. Do you agree that winning 7 to 10 games a year and beating Michigan every couple of years makes your coaching era successful at MSU?
Yes, especially now because 10 wins get you in the playoff. To me, the change of the playoff, the 12 teams and eventually more, and the 10 wins getting you in. Because think about the Michigan State team in 2021 that was in a New Year's Six Bowl, which is now like the equivalent of where the playoff cut off, that they would have been in a playoff. And so I think the key is if you're getting in the playoff every, 3-4 years, something like that, and if you're getting in the playoff every 4 years, say, and you are in the hunt for the playoff into November, like 2 to 3 out of 4 years, which you would be if you're winning 7 to 10 games, and you're beating Michigan every other year, nobody's going to complain. They may be longing for something a little more elite, but you'll have your job for a long time, and it would definitely be a successful era. And I think something that's happened again since it's been a while, since it's been a decade now since the last real successful era, is people remember how hard it is and how rare it is. And so I think it's been long enough that, yes, people want the peak D'Antonio era again, but they just want something a lot better than this. And so 7 to 10 wins a year and beating Michigan every couple of years would feel really good right about now.
Next one from Bagri. Will Couch finally admit there's a blue wall and not dance around the question?
Welcome to the blue wall.
This is not dancing. This is my take on this. I think, like, if I am to say there is a blue wall, I think what I think of the blue wall and what you think of the blue wall are different things. I do not think there's this conspiracy, and that's the difference. Do I think there is some bias that leaks out in terms of what's covered? Do I think that Michigan gets covered a little differently than Michigan State? I do. But the blue wall sounds like, sounds very Soviet. Sounds like what's happening now, in our polarized government with cable news and you get different realities and stuff like that. I don't see it entirely like that. And that's my issue with just straight out saying that.
All right, Gary Lipka, how does Jason pull up the appropriate recorded audio on the spur of the moment with perfect timing? Please share your secret.
Not talking about this.
No.
Tuba Keith, Graham, tell the Rube that Jay Batt doesn't have an accent because affluent people don't have accents. Real question. When do you think the conferences will have the upper hand over the networks to set game times before 12 days before the game? Looking to go see the Spartans play USC in September. Just wanting to plan a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pain.
12 days?
I mean, so there are certain games that are on the schedule, and but then there are a lot of them that are, and sometimes it's 6 days. I get a couple of those a year too. And it is a pain. It's hard to travel. It's hard to know because obviously, especially if it's a drive or wherever it is, like how you set up a trip for a noon game is different than how you set up a trip for a 7:30 p.m. game. Especially, or it could be 7:30 local. It could be 10:30 p.m. I don't know if it would be that late out there, but it is a pain, and I don't think that'll change though.
Tuba Keith, MSU beats UCLA at home because the noon game in East Lansing is a 9 a.m. game for the Bruins. So that's the only reason why MSU beats them?
It is brutal. I mean, this is the disadvantage those teams are at, but this is what they signed up for, that they're going to get some of these. Now, teams going east or going west will sometimes get like a 10:30 start, I think, at some point, but that is UCLA will have to come out on Thursday to try to adjust to that for sure.
Skylar Verdon, what is the proper response to someone in their 20s who won't stop referring to themselves as old? Push them down the stairs.
Depends who they are in your life. Because it's a really asinine and annoying response.
No, it's anyone. It's anybody in their 20s.
Okay.
It says they're old.
Yeah.
Shut it.
Because a couple things.
People, believe me, old people did it to me back when I was 20. I'm like,
But you have to remember, part of the reason your athletic prime does not begin till 27 to 33, maybe 35 if you're lucky.
Drink.
Is because you're too stupid before 27. So that's why people in their 20s say they're old. They're just too stupid.
So you shouldn't get married till you're 30.
You certainly should be careful about it because your brain isn't fully formed at least till 25. And in 27 is when you're smart enough to be the best pickup basketball player you can ever be. So just keep those things in mind. That sometimes they're just stupid, and it's hard to work around. No offense to anybody listening who's 20.
Yeah, offense taken. MZA, is it crazy to say that MSU basketball could still be in contention for the Big Ten as late as February? The general consensus seems to be that Michigan, Purdue, and UCLA are significantly better than MSU, but I'm really bought into the team's potential this year, though I think Purdue will win. And from Jarrett, what percentage chance would you put that this men's basketball team will be better than last year's when it comes to having a better record and making it further in the NCAA tourney?
So you remember last year, Michigan State was like 11-1 to win the Big Ten and won it by 3 games. So we don't always know year to year. There are some, and I look at Purdue's roster and I like that. I think they got a good chance. U of M looks like they have a good roster. They were a good team last year. They obviously know how to construct a roster there. What'll be interesting, I mean, with Michigan State, I think there's a chance, though, because you've got quite a bit of sweat equity. You got some, I think there's a chance it's a really good team, but guys are going to have to take certain steps. Cohen Carr is going to have to take certain steps. Jackson Kohler, certain steps. Jeremy Fear, certain steps. We know that. Trey Fort, I think, is going to have to be a productive player, and we'll see what Cam Ward is. I think there's the potential to have enough talent, and people just don't see it yet. And I think one of the problems with projections, too, at this time of year is, if Michigan State, we've talked about this, had just landed some of the guys who are returning in the portal, people will be really, really high on them. And I don't think people are necessarily low on them. They just don't think they're as high as other people. And to be fair to those projections, all people have to go on are what they saw last year from those positions. If you're not following Jackson Kohler's story or Cohen Carr's story, you're looking at who they were last year, Jeremy Fear's story, and who they were last year. If those are the best 3 players on the team, maybe with, Trey Fort mixed in sometimes or whatever like that, you're not going to probably win the Big Ten if they're at the level they were last year. So that development has to happen. But I think there's a chance it could. And I think last year was a good lesson that. And there have been other teams in other years we just don't see coming. We don't understand. We don't have a sense of the roster right now and how it looks and how it comes together.
Ryan Rockwell next. How are the special teams looking? Jonathan Him left big shoes to fill, and I'm pretty sure Jaden Reed was the last decent return man. At least we still have Eckley to punt.
Yeah, no idea. They haven't made anybody in the special teams available yet. I'm thinking that'll probably happen next week. I don't even know to what extent Jonathan Smith, he's been available once. He'll be available again Monday after the scrimmage. Probably get a little bit better sense then, and then I'm guessing next week maybe some of those guys will be available. There's been some returner talk, and they do have some guys who have difference-making speed. To what degree they'll be called on? Like I was talking to Amari Kelly about punt returns, and I think he will be somebody who's involved there, and he really the art of it. And it was a good conversation actually. It's something that probably should be written about more at some point, and just the fearlessness you have to have and what's going through your mind when the ball is coming down. They've got some interesting guys in the return game. The kicking game, though, I don't know where it is and how guys have been doing, and that's something that needs to be asked this coming week, and hopefully there's some good opportunities for it.
Scotty Green's El Camino next. By season's end, who will be the best defensive player on this MSU football team? And from Moneybag, have you heard or seen anything from camp that should give us a reason to have hope about the pass rush?
So what you want the answer to be here is a guy like Jalen Thompson. To both questions, because I think he is a guy that they are high on, and if he is your best defensive player, then the pass rush wasn't a crippling issue. The defensive line was okay. They're going to move him around a little bit. Right now, he's mostly on the outside, though, and so I think he has a chance to be. Obviously, I don't know who's going to be. I think they're good at the linebacker position. There's been a lot of talk about Jordan Hall, and but Thompson's a guy that I'm definitely curious to see because people have been pretty bullish on him. And you look at Hall and Thompson, those guys that came in that last Mel Tucker recruiting class, there was some talent there, and those are some good players.
Moneybag, what's more difficult, hitting a home run off an MLB pitcher or doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a toss-up. Could go either way.
You know what? I don't know. Suburban Spartan Dad, finish this sentence. We will know that Michigan State will be a bowl-eligible team, 6 wins, if they can blank against Western.
I don't think you ever know anything for sure when Michigan State beats up even on a mid-major team. I mean, you think about last year. They were really good early as a pass rush. of all things. Like they were outstanding for the first few
But is
weeks.
there a points, like a certain amount of points that if they scored on Western, you'd be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, and I don't think Western would be truly horrible. Yeah, so they truly just bullied them and thrashed them. And I think
57-14 or something like that.
Something like that.
Oh.
And you just want them to, and you want to see some true dominance a few places. I always say in these games, it's hard to prove things, but it's easy to find red flags. Like if the offensive line can't move Western, that's an issue. If they move Western, well, it's Western, right? And you don't know what Western's going to be. So those games are to avoid the red flags. But yeah, you want to punish them and look good. But a reminder, like in 2015, 10 years ago now, when they played that game at Western, that was a team that went to the playoff, and that was a pretty competitive game into the fourth quarter. Now Western's team was a year away from being very, very good and having their own year where they went to a Cotton Bowl and everything. So it's not like that was a bad program. But what I'm saying is you can have a competitive, and I think in some of those years in the 2000s, they had games at home that were like 28-7 against Jacksonville State or Youngstown State, and then really got going. So you can even have games that are not overly impressive and still have good seasons. But yeah, you know. And then the flip side of that was 2002. I remember they just beat the living daylights out of Eastern Michigan with DeJuan Moss at running back and everything like that, and wound up having a disaster of a year. So I don't know that there's a way to know for sure after the Western game.
Clint One Ball Bainey next. Who will the Tigers play in the opening round of the playoffs? The season ended today.
So hold on. Give me some off.
I am a passenger.
Free Ubers.
I stay under glass.
So the thing that's gone for the Tigers is they're not going to be anymore, even if they're still in the hunt for it, they're not going to be a team that gets a top 2 seed and doesn't have to play in that first round, even though if the season ended today, they would be. I mean, there's just no way that they hold off, I don't think, the Astros and Mariners in the American League West. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those teams won't. I mean, it just
I hope you're wrong.
So
nice.
My guess is they're gonna wind up playing a team like Boston. I would say let's play.
Isn't
the
it
Red
funny
Sox.
though that's where we are right now, and we're both just like, I don't think they're gonna hang out there very long. It's just weird to have a team that's actually really good on paper, but if you watch game in game out, you're still like,
Yeah, and Cleveland.
Such a weird feeling.
Cleveland has a negative run. They've just been playing better
stink.
lately. Yeah, they've been playing better lately.
Fuck Cleveland.
All right.
I'm just saying. I understand the 33-1 and people were sprinkling on it, but Clint, One Ball. Will MSU's defense or offense rank statistically higher when the season ends?
The offense. And it better be the offense. And what I mean by that is, I think when you look at the potential of this offense, it's probably higher than the defense. And if I'm wrong there, and the defense is great, and they have a great year because the defense is great, then we're all taken aback. But I think the offense has a chance to be pretty good. And so if the team's going to be pretty good, that needs to happen. And so it's going to be the offense.
Last one from One Ball. Will MSU basketball be ranked in the top 25 to start the season?
Don't coach my team.
How many interviews will Izzo do with media folks that get by? And they'll probably will be because of the way they ended last year. I think they'll be ranked around 20th, somewhere around there. That would be my guess.
National media tour.
Yeah.
Sparty Barb, Graham, what do you know about college hockey recruiting? We are now ranked behind Bowling Green and Boston College for the 2025 recruiting class. Some polls even have Cheat again in the number 1 spot. How are these class rankings determined? Is it only based on NHL draft status?
It's a good question. I don't. I used to pay attention to it more when they were really struggling and trying to see where they were, when it was the Anastas era and the Danton Cole era, and like trying to figure out where they were relative to hockey. But they've been bringing in guys of such ilk now that it's like, you can't, and they've won back-to-back Big Ten titles, and they're getting guys who are draft picks, and they have like 14 draft picks on the team this year. I don't think that stuff's a concern, whatever the rankings are and however they're coming to it. And college hockey is weird too because, now with the Canadian juniors, some of these guys you recruit late, and some don't come till the next year. You recruit them out of the USHL. I don't pay a ton of attention to the day-to-day of it. I check in with Nate Bott, our MSU hockey reporter, sometimes, and we talk about guys that might be coming in or what's important and things like that. But it's not a day-to-day thing because it's hard to understand, frankly.
Ryan Rockwell, how can I get alerts that a new episode is airing if I'm getting rid of Twitter and all social media? Tried it out last week, and it's a free experience, but don't want to miss out on a new pod.
So I
Couch, just text him, dude.
I do believe that YouTube will let you know if you subscribe.
Wherever
subscribe on YouTube.
YouTube will let you know, and wherever you get your podcast.
And
if you turn the alerts on.
I'm trying to get clear. If I get clearance from the LSJ, I've talked about this before for a while, but I do think, and I've talked to my wife about this, who's going to help me do it, is have a newsletter this fall starting, and that would be for LSJ stuff, but also I think it would be for the show. So if new pod drops, now I don't know if it would be the live, like when we go live, but it certainly after the pod was out, it would go out. It would go out with like the quick takes and other things like that. So because you're right in this. You're not alone. A lot of people find it freeing, but also social media is becoming less and less.
So now he got rid of social media, but then he's going to add a newsletter.
Well, but that's fine. It comes to your email. It comes to your. Or maybe we can figure out a way to text it. But it gets delivered to you. It lets you know. So if you have email on your phone, you would know. If you, I mean,
I just feel like wherever you listen to your podcast, if you put an alert on when Couch in the Rube drops, it would come right to your phone.
That's true. It should do that too, right? Yeah.
But I mean, I would love a newsletter from Couch.
Yeah,
letting me know.
Yeah, but that's sort of the plan. I haven't got
bumpity bump.
I haven't got
time
clearance
for another
yet.
show. Send
bumpity bump. That'll be the name of the newsletter.
Yes.
Bumpity bump.
Fuck yes. Boom.
People
Done.
hate me.
Oh, bumpity bump. Couch on fire. How many games back does Cleveland need to get before we have a full-fledged panic by the Tigers fans? Or are we already there? Do we have the all-star curse as every Tiger all-star except Skubal has slumped since then?
I think when you get inside of 4 games and you're like a series away, a sweep away, people will really panic.
I mean, 6,
6 is not much.
Yeah.
Especially
it's a must-win tonight.
Here's the thing, is manageable as the schedule is. Hold on, give me some Hoff for a second.
Hoff. Sorry, Hoff is busy.
From Detroit down to Houston and New York to
That would be amazing if that's how that worked.
Well, there's
There we go.
To the danger zone. Right into the
Oh my goodness. What are
danger
we doing? All right, here we go.
zone.
Come on.
Heading into twilight,
So,
spreading out her wings tonight.
The last 2 weeks of the season, they play a 3-game set at home, middle of the week against Cleveland, and the following week, Wednesday through Friday, 3-game set on the road. So a lot of that's going to, I mean, what you really don't, ideally if you're the Tigers, you've got like a 7 or 8 game lead going into that, and you're not even, because Cleveland's going to have a direct shot at you. And the other thing is, you just sit down with Skubal, be like, hey, you going to sign this contract? We're going to pitch you every 4 days. Here you go, man. Like, obviously you're not going to do that, but I would be in.
It's on him to sign that contract.
Yeah. Well, if they're offering,
what's the offer?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Are you Chris Ilitch's boy, dude? Or are you like pro Ilitch?
I'm not pro Ilitch. I'm not pro Ilitch. I'm pro pizza,
Ilitch.
but I'm not pro Ilitch.
Couch on Friday. Next, how many Lions defensive starters on IR by week 4?
Couch on fire. It should be. Sorry, Couch on Friday. The whole team. Yeah, but that's good though, because then they'll be back by week 11, and that's what you want.
MDP, who's your pick to be MSU's starting running back this year, and do they end the season as the starter, not counting injury?
It's a good question. I'm just talking on my ass right now because I can say Jace Clarizio, but
Clarizio it is.
Does that? Can he pass protect? Is he consistent enough? And there's some stuff they're talking about him that makes me believe he's got a lot of talent, but he's still a young guy. And we even remember with L.J. Scott, like in that 2015 year where he was their leading rusher, they used him on running situations. He was not their best pass protector, and that was clear and based on how they wanted to use him. I do think my guess is as they begin the year, Elijah Tautoliver, the Sac State transfer, will be the guy. Tullis and Frazier are both interesting guys. I just don't have a great feel for it. Does Tullis have that speed? Is he, there's just so much more to it. But my guess is Tautoliver starts. My guess is, or I don't know who ends it, but I think Jace will at some point have his day and have a chance.
MDP, will Ben Shelton take this Toronto victory and get another championship in Cincy?
Pretty impressive rise. It's hard to imagine him doing back-to-back or wanting to do back-to-back, but you have the U.S. Open coming up. You don't want to burn yourself out 2 straight weeks like that going into the U.S. Open.
This is the tennis hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, U.S. guy.
Yeah. But Shelton, the way he played it in Toronto, winning his first Masters 1000 series, he is the guy. I mean, you see the limitations with a Taylor Fritz. Like, Taylor Fritz is a top 5 player in the world. He is never going to catch, the very top level. He is never going to be there with Sinner and Alcaraz. Shelton has the game if he can ever develop the consistency to do it. He has the shot making. He's the guy. And so if you're a fan of U.S. tennis and he's the guy to watch, 22 years old, getting better and better, and can raise his game on given days, and has been much more consistent in the matches he should win really since Wimbledon or since the French Open.
MDP, ever been to the Great Taste of the Midwest in Madison, Wisconsin? 4th time this Saturday for me. Hoping to see some beer-loving state fans there. One of the best beer festivals around.
Never been. I haven't done it. Yeah, it sounds. I love Madison, Wisconsin. My favorite Big Ten towns.
Andrew Zuiza, how much of a refund do your sponsors get when you skip shows?
We don't charge them till the end of the month, so they only pay for the shows we do. So we're not cheating them out. We're like, you know what? Not only that, I don't think Groovy Donuts knows that we're not doing a show today. So we can. No, that's not how it works.
Andrew, shouldn't you say this is a story almost worth telling, but if it were worth telling, it would be presented by Midtown Brewing Company. Does Midtown Brewing Company want to be associated with stories not worth telling?
I don't think it's hurting their brand. It's not like,
It's fucking Andrew. It's up our ass. Fucking hell, Zuiza. Get fucking laid this weekend. Relax. All right, come on. The Brent Jurgensen of Southern Maine. Do you think Adam, the Gannett rep who took my call, is definitely really named Adam and is a Michigan native? Do you think he understood when I told him I canceled my free sub because of Graham's dog shit response to DMB's question this week?
Yeah, I hope you call it like a real thick Maine accent too. I wish I could do a Maine accent because it'd be good.
I wish you could do the accent of Adam from the LSJ.
Oh, I think I can. It would be grossly offensive, and I would be in trouble.
Like when you sit on a bench in East Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Kane, who are the top 50 non-MSU Big Ten basketball players since you have covered MSU?
Top 50? Holy shit.
Can we do 100? If that's too many, how about a top 10? Or as many as you think are worthy of a mention?
This is probably a story to do. It's...
So, Richard, what he's saying is it's never going to happen.
No, or it could be a topic we did on a Wednesday or something. I mean, the top MSU player...
That's a July, first... week and a half before we take a 3-week vacation.
And there you go. Yeah, no, I think the best players I've covered at Michigan State are, I think, Cassius, Denzel. I covered Draymond too, so that was I would put Cassius, Denzel, Draymond.
But he's saying non-MSU Big Ten basketball players.
Wait a second. Oh.
Who are the top 50 non-MSU Big Ten basketball players?
Holy shit, that would take me forever. That would take me forever.
You thought it was the other way? That was feasible.
Feasible. 50,
I think this one's
50. You're getting down to guys. You're like, well, Josh Langford before he got hurt.
Who are the top 50 non-MSU Big Ten basketball players?
He's got to know. Richard is just screwing with me at this point. I appreciate you though.
His head's going to explode. Richard Kane, if you guys had access to a time machine, when would you go? When would you go and why?
Where would you go, or when would you go if you had the time machine?
Oh, my God.
Just think about your greatest regret and go right before then.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking that. I just want to go back to when I was having so much fun when I was 12, 13, 14. So the early 90s and that era. But I definitely would. I've always wanted to go back to when you see those old-timey videos from the 30s and 40s and you're like, my God, I thank God every day that I'm born living in the time I'm living in. Because when you look down, we rip on our phones, but God, it's so great when you're bored, someone's saying something, you're looking up something, and technology is awesome. I just look back at those videos, and I'm like, what did they do for fun back then? Just sit outside?
They had better attention spans. They could, yeah.
Congratulations! I don't. What do you need an attention span for? Everything's coming at you 100 miles an hour, so my attention span is filled.
Yeah.
But in the 1940s, Jesus Christ, what do you do?
There are a few regrets here and there.
The Depression and all that. I'm like, my God.
2009, Graham might have been a couple different bets. It's a good question.
80s or 90s.
There are lots of times that I would have, you think about certain points, but my life is pretty good now, so I want to be careful that I don't mess with the future.
But it's not
much.
about, you don't go talk to yourself or do any of that Back to the Future shit.
Yeah.
You just go and you hang out and you're just be among the people.
I think
as soon as people notice you go right back to this time.
The joy of being like a 9-year-old kid, the bad boy era, going to 4th, 5th grade and like playing recess 4 times a day and just like
being able to play outside.
Wasn't even worried about girls back then. Life was easy. It was like, that was
3 years before you started beating off. Yeah.
That's it.
All your time was consumed in 3 years. Alpha Brett, how do you feel about all the dildos being tossed around at WNBA games? Is it growing the game? Is it growing the game?
Yeah.
I thought it was funny at first. But I think the reaction from one of the WNBA coaches is not the way to go about it.
What was the reaction?
I think she was extremely pissed that it's happening. Okay. I think that you have to kind of laugh it off because if you sit there and you go,
then more people do it.
Well, I mean, the one guy caught a felony charge, so I think people will stop doing it now. But when you have something like that happen and you get so pissed off, the natural reaction from anyone on the planet is like, I think I want to do that again. I like that reaction, so I'm going to throw another dildo.
Yeah, the less you make of it, the less is made of it.
Sure. If you can make fun of yourself, it's a dildo. I mean, 50% of us have one, right? Like, I mean, well, guys have a dick, but the other 50% of ladies have. Anyway, all right, let's move on. But everybody's got a dildo. We know what one is. Why are we acting like it's some crazy thing? It's just a fake dick.
People are going to start asking about Teresa's dildo now since you said that.
Go ahead, man. That thing's freaking high-powered. Got to plug it in, and we have a whole extension cord. I mean, who fucking cares?
That is a story we're telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing.
Well,
where if you've got a story about a dildo, you can sit at the bar
on it. It's like
American Stout, talk about dildos. They're there for you.
50cc engine on the fucking thing. Ken Chu. She's out of town, so. Ken Chu, why are most canned koozies black? Are they trying to make my beer warm?
I hadn't thought about this. I don't think that's how it works, right? Yeah.
Ralphie, next. Why? You don't post this on Blue Sky anymore? Twitter sucks. Google sucks. Blue Sky sucks. What's left?
I post this on Blue Sky. I don't think I missed one on Blue Sky. If I have, I apologize. I don't think so.
Yeah, Ralph.
Because we have quite a few listeners on Blue Sky who use Blue Sky for their questions and takes. So yeah, no. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, nothing is universally effective anymore. Google certainly sucks. X is much less effective. Blue Sky's never been effective. I mean, it's good for the show and interaction. I'm talking about like generating audience and driving people to stories, or it's just none of this stuff really.
Yeah, but
works
you have
anymore.
To pay the monthly subscription thing for Twitter
to some degree. But even so, like.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it tells you that there's a reason why everything goes down because we don't have that blue check mark because they want to get $8.99 out of you. But if you do that, it means you're pro Elon and all that shit. You know, it's like
even so, it doesn't because there are.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I mean, it
doesn't have the effect. App. Yeah, well, and it's a very flawed system that we need these third parties. It's one of the reasons to start newsletters. Newsletters actually are really effective. Within like one of the ways that drives more traffic than any social media is the LSJ newsletter. Like all of my columns go in these 5 stories a day that go out in the morning, right? And the LSJ newsletter, and that drives more traffic alone than probably all the social media combined.
But then when I click on it in my email and I don't have an account, and I go, then
you're pissed.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Fart Soup, I herniated a disc a few weeks back, and I'm starting to finally feel pretty good. That said, I'm still supposed to take it easy and not jump right back into things. It's full swing summer in Seattle, yet I can't go full ham. Any advice?
Oof. Seattle's got hills, too, to walk. It's tough.
Just remember, doctors are going to give you the worst-case scenario, though, and tell you that certain amount of weeks and blah, blah, blah. Just go off feel. If you feel good, just test it a little bit.
Yeah,
but you don't have to go full ham. Go half ham.
Find places where you can have a sit. It's one of my favorite hobbies. Have a sit, you know?
Like couch in East Lansing with a thing of sushi.
Yeah.
Watching Vietnamese people, apparently. Fart Soup, what's the deal with Lansing sports media? Is our water poisoned? I mean, look at the names we've had to deal with. Stout, Ebling, Human, Hondo, Schultz, Tiemann, Couch.
Join the illustrious group. Thank you.
That's better than the Greater Lansing Hall of Fame right there. The Fart Soup Hall of Fame. What's better? Fart Soup. Why don't I care about college sports anymore? Did they ruin it? Who can I point my finger at? Because I'm sure as hell not going to credit it to me growing as a human. I don't want the anger of my fandom circa early 2000s, but I need to feel something, baby.
Yeah, this is one of those things I wish I could talk to my dad about, because he would have, he grew up in England until he was 12. Then he lived in Maine until he was 18. Then he went to a small school into Albion, and then went back to Maine in his 20s. Like, he didn't come to Michigan till like 1977. And then lived his rest of his life here and started to like MSU sports in the 80s because they were around and his young kid was into it, and we'd go to games. But he was never like, I never saw him like boo somebody. He was never angry about a result unless they were like, they'd done something really stupid. And so but he had a really good fan. Like, he would get frustrated, sure, and he really enjoyed the good stuff. But I do wonder, for people like him and people who aren't all consumed by it, who become fans, like where they stand and what they think of it, and do they care less, and how much do people really are all bought in, how much they care less. I think this is the story ultimately going forward over the next generation. Do people fall out of love with college sports? I often think the people the age of Fart Soup, and I know Fart Soup personally, but are generally they're mostly hooked. I mean, it's not great if they care a little less, but they're going to watch the games. But the question is, that next generation coming in, do they never get hooked the same way because they don't have the same connection? That's where you have a problem.
It's just a funny sentence. I know Fart Soup. No more. Wono Giarda next. Why was Max Bullis suspended? Will we ever find out? Seems like a story worth telling.
Get Max on the show. Max and
this is where he's going to tell it.
Max and Jason Strayhorn together. Yeah. Max is actually assistant coach at Notre Dame now. I always thought that would be interesting as he moves up the ladder, gets to a point where he's like a front-facing person for, he'll have to talk about it at some point because you
what
can't
be
be
like,
coach.
It was, that's in the past. I don't think he has to say anything about it.
I think at some point you ought to tell that. Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hear it. I'm just saying.
His words.
Wono, will you please try to have Jason Strayhorn join the podcast? Seems like he has some free time these days to address the open questions. Only cowards hide from the truth, whether podcaster or guest interviewer.
Yeah, we can ask. And I'll ask Jason if he's up for it. He may not be here, but he's going to talk.
I'll do it.
About
you mean Strayhorn?
Strayhorn.
Oh.
Yeah. You want to pretend to be Strayhorn and do the...
No. Wono, will you please ask Magic why he doesn't donate more to men's basketball NIL during your next group interview?
Well, he's not allowed to. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Because if he gives to the MSU NIL before he fully funds the Lansing Promise, I'm freaking going to lambaste him.
Can they hang out on his yacht, though?
Yeah.
They have him flown in?
Yeah,
that'd be a nice perk if you were like on the basketball team. Like, oh, yeah, you can go hang out with Magic.
Yeah. Magic's got to take care of the Lansing Promise first before he can touch MSU.
Dang it, Bobby, next. If you're confident you're dealing with a no wiper, should you roll with it or give it a test wipe to be sure? What the fuck is he talking about? No wiper.
I didn't even know there's such a thing.
He's talking about dropping a little heat there with no wiping too?
Unless you got a bidet, man, everything's a wiper.
Even if you have a bidet, what's your no wiper? Did you actually
who taught
pinch
you?
Loaf and
who toilet trained you?
Wow,
that's not right. That's
interesting. All right. I don't know if I can move on. Should we just end the show there? Jake Hoggins, great column on MSU's defense. Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you they can be a good and underrated unit for MSU football this season?
Oh, not that confident. I mean, I would say the confidence would be in Joe Rossi, in that I think he is a competent and good coordinator, and I think from year to year he'll understand what a defense needs, and he's, personnel-wise in charge of sort of going out and helping to get it. And so I would tend to think he wouldn't let a defense go through what they did a year ago. I do think their depth is better. So I think as there are injuries, as there are every year, they won't fall off as badly as they have the last few years. I think that will be there. I don't know what their level will actually be, but I don't believe they'll fall off as much. But yeah, I don't scale 1 to 10. How confident am I? I do not have a ton of confidence yet because you got to see it. I would put in a 2-3 range.
You go either way. Next one from the Hawk. Thoughts from both you guys on the recent news of ESPN acquiring the NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. I never knew or would have thought that the NFL was trying to dump the NFL Network. Yeah, apparently they've been wanting to dump the NFL
For a
Network
while.
for a long time.
Yeah, trying to get out of that business. Yeah, no, I
like that the Hawk also goes, thoughts from both of you guys. Like if I, if you just said just for Graham, if I had a thought on it, I couldn't.
Can't jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
just figured ESPN's just going to ruin everything I love anyway, so I'm just going to.
ESPN has that straight-to-consumer stuff starting, and that they want this as part of that, at least some part of that.
Can we still
vertical.
have Scott Hansen do the
he's still doing
NFL Reds?
Yep,
Okay.
he's still
All
doing
right.
it.
See, as long as you don't fuck with the whole thing and have Stephen A. on it.
I don't think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think it'll be bad. The NFL is just trying to get out of the business. It's the NFL Network was I don't want to say it's a dying entity, but a lot of things it's not growing. And I listened to a podcast the other day where they were just talking. The NFL does not try to be in the business of things that aren't growing.
It's their WNBA, the NFL.
That's the exact opposite of what's happening. But
Jake Hawkins, are you guys having 2009 jitters about the Tigers after they lost 2 out of 3 to the Twins with a bunch of unknown players? Hawk, I have 2009 jitters every time I watch a Detroit sporting event, so that's why I have so many MGs flowing through my blood to knock those fucking jitters off. Because, of course, absolutely. The sky is always falling. Jake, I recently read an article about Microsoft putting out a list of 50 jobs that could be threatened by the takeover of AI. 2 of the jobs on there were journalists and radio DJs. How does that make you guys feel about that?
Well, we're not radio DJs. I mean,
hey, coming at you. We got a 2 for Tuesday.
Yeah, those sort of things are much more automated. Have been for a long time. Yeah, I mean, you know,
can fake that shit.
Yeah, and journalists. I mean, there are elements of it, but people want the accountability, and that's one thing that AI cannot do. And certain levels of creativity, and people want to know what's coming from a person. There are some good things about AI. There's some really scary things about AI. It can be a good tool in a lot of ways too for journalists. But if you're doing a good job in journalism, it cannot replace you for a while.
AI can't replace humor. Like I was watching
not yet at least, an
AI video last night, and it was kind of trying to be a humorous kind of video, and you could just tell it's kind of AI. So please, radio DJs, RIP. Jerk Guy, how would you describe me in 3 words?
Obtuse, lovable,
Cockburn.
Cockburn.
There you go.
Jerk Guy, how often are you completely nude?
More than you think.
Jesus, poor neighbors. Jerk Guy, how successful do you think Jonathan Smith can be at Michigan State?
I think if he has the resources to compete with the top programs in the Big Ten, then they can be the top 6 program in the Big Ten that was sort of set out as the thing they needed to be by the previous athletic administration. We'll see what Jay Batt, again, says about that and his goals for them. I think he's a really good coach. I think he's got a good staff. Talent acquisition is part of that. And part of talent acquisition now, though, is paying players and how you manage that. And so I think if he's given the resources and time, he can be really effective at Michigan State.
Jerk Guy, when was the last time you pooped without your phone, and what did you do? I pouted like I was 7. It's like when I forgot my earbuds when I went to the gym. I absolutely pouted. It was really, thank God no one else was around.
Pooping. Yeah.
Stop stomping my feet. Kind of pissed. Seriously. Yeah. I love having my earbuds at the gym. It keeps me going. And it's just like when you forget that, you're just, even though I live 10 minutes away. Anyway, Jerk Guy, how bad of a sanction will Central get for Michigan's cheating?
Yeah, I don't know what CMU will get. They'll get some sort of slap on the wrist. I mean, the problem is the coaches will get something, but they're no longer there, right?
Is it because people don't care about Central? Like it'll just be like it's not.
Well, and what Central did was bad because it was somebody from a different staff in a game, and it goes against the spirit of competition. They'll get something for it. They 100% will. I just don't know to what extent.
And finally, for the week, Jerk Guy, best bet this week.
Bet against Wrexham. Get on. Go Southampton against Wrexham. That's my bet.
On the Asian line.
On the Asian line. Always on the Asian line. Especially if you're watching students out at Michigan State next week. Sorry, that didn't play. We'll fix that in post. It's a horrible ending.
No, we won't.
Yeah.
We'll cut that as a clip.
We appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for producing our show and always hanging with us. And thanks for the ideas are always appreciated. They are, even when you give me shit. I do appreciate it. We appreciate Groovy Donuts, and make Groovy Donuts part of your weekend. It'll be a better weekend. Go to groovydonuts.com. Place your order today. 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road and East Lansing, also in Williamson, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. We appreciate our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app. Download the app. Bet the games. Thanks to Midtown Brewing Company. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you Monday. Couch in the Room.